Hey, good afternoon, guys. Just wanted to make a follow-up review on the Fanatic, the Sitka Gear Fanatic. It was the 2019 Fanatic Jacket and Bibs. Back in the summertime, I purchased the 2019 Fanatic Jacket and Bibs, and I kind of gave you a first impressions review. And I've had a couple of questions on the on our YouTube channel about the stuff. So I thought maybe some people would want to, get my my feelings after using it for some time during the season. I ended up this year buying. I bought the Fanatic Hoodie, which I'm wearing right now. I bought the Fanatic Jacket, Fanatic Bibs, also the Stratus Jacket, and the Stratus Bibs. And so far, I've been very, very happy and satisfied with everything I bought. I understand. There's a lot of jokes going on, and some of the forums about Sitka Gear. It's like rich man hunting clothing, and I'm not a rich guy. I struggle to pay for all of the hunting gear I have. So I'm just a blue collar guy that works hard, and I got to squirrel away money, and little by little I accumulate stuff. I'm sure just like you guys. So, but I just wanted to give you a heads up and give you my take on the stuff, because when you really try to give it your all in this sport, you want to have all the best tools that you can have to make it easier for you when you're out there. And I got to tell you, when it comes to trying to stay warm, if look. The beauty of this stuff is it will keep you warm in the coldest weather. It's ultra quiet. It's about as quiet as stuff as there is out there. It's great in the wind. I mean, you do not feel the wind. That was a huge factor for me, because all the other stuff that I have that I've been using in the past, I would stay warm. But if it was windy, you could still feel that wind through there, and that would just, over time, just beat me down. And this stuff, the Fanatic, especially the Fanatic stuff, you just don't feel the wind. You put it on and it feels like there's no wind. So it's great for that. It's also designed specifically to, the camouflage pattern. It's got the one I'm using has the elevated ambush pattern, so it's designed. It's designed to break up your image, break up your pattern when a deer, the way a deer sees when it's looking up at an elevated person in a tree stand or a tree saddle. So that's pretty much perfect for what we're doing, right? And this year I did not. Listen, I don't know if it was the camo pattern or if it was just how high I hunt. I hunt at least 15 feet high to 25 feet high, depending on the situation. And I never had a deer look at me. Any deer that did look up at me, I never had. Was in a showdown where something looked at me and thought, what is that? So I would. So far, in my experience, the camo pattern has been effective. It's very, very quiet. Especially the Fanatic Jacket is designed to be. I think they say it's like 40% quieter than their original Fanatic Jacket, 2019, and it is very, very quiet. Works great. Let's show you here. Now, like I said, I'm wearing the. Let me show you first the Fanatic Hoodie. I'm wearing the Fanatic Hoodie. The Fanatic Hoodie has these sleeves like this, and it also has a thing where you can turn it over, so it's almost like a pair of mittens. I kind of never use that part of it, but it's there for people who would like it. And I got to be honest with you, the way these sleeves are, I don't know. I almost feel like I would have rather had this just like this, or maybe even shorter to here. But it's functional, it works. But a lot of the time, I don't even use that, and I'll just pull them back over and not even use it. But the Fanatic Hoodie, it's warm. I wear this every time I hunt. I always have this thing on, and it's great to wear as for layers. I'll put my base layers underneath it, and then just this. And usually I'll hike in wearing just this, and there's been a lot of times, especially wearing the bibs, where I'll have the bibs and just this, and because I warm up going in, I get up into my set, I might keep my jacket on my pack and leave it there, and then once I start getting cold, I'll put the jacket on. And there's been a couple times where I didn't even need to do it, because with the bibs, you know, the bibs are going to come up to your chest, and you got pockets in them, you're pretty warm, your legs are warm. Unless it's really cold, you know, you might not even need to go to your jacket. And that happened with me a couple of times this year. But in the real cold weather, I would go ahead and wear my Fanatic Jacket. And the Fanatic Jacket's awesome. This thing is the warmest jacket I've personally ever owned. The coldest temperatures I used it in were down to like 15 degrees. And there was some wind, about 10-mile-an-hour wind. I even had a day where I got caught in the rain for 2 hours, and I was just wearing my Fanatic Jacket. The jacket did get wet on the outside, but it never felt like it penetrated, and I stayed warm the whole time. And I sat all day that day. And I don't believe it's, you know, the Fanatic stuff is marketed in any way as like rain gear, but it did keep me dry, and it kept me warm. The outside of the jacket was wet. In fact, when I came home, I had to stick it in the dryer, because it did get wet, but the inside of the jacket never got wet, and I stayed warm. That was what was most important. So one of the good features about this jacket, on the back side, it has, if you're using a tree stand and you want to use your hunter safety system, a lot of jackets will have like a hole to pass through your hunter safety system, so it's a little bit more comfortable when you're wearing the jacket. Problem is, on a lot of the jackets, it's a hole, so you have to disconnect the hunter safety system, put it through, and then reconnect it. So you might set everything up before you climb your tree and then clip into your tree. With this, I can climb my tree. I don't even need to have this already put on, because if I had a hunter safety system, you know, on the tree, and I wanted to put my jacket on later, there's a button here where all you have to do is put it on, and it'll go through, but you don't have to run it through the jacket. The jacket will work around it, so that's a nice feature. Also, let's see, I'll put it on here. Show you a couple of things I like about the jacket. Now, I'm a size large. I'm about 190 pounds right now. I'm probably about 195 pounds. I'm a short guy. I'm only like 5 foot. I'm 5'5", 5'6" with Timberlands. But you know, it fits me. Not large, you know, pretty much everything a large fits me perfect. So you know, like the sleeve length and everything. So I would say it's pretty much true to size. Everything else I buy is a large. It fits me, and the Sitka Gear, the size large, fits me just right. One of the things I really like about this jacket, it's got the Kangaroo Pouch. The cool thing, this jacket, most jackets will have a zipper that'll go right down the center, and then you would have individual pockets on either side of your zipper. The zipper on this one goes to the side, and the reason for that is you have this Kangaroo Pouch, and you put your hands in here, and this thing is really nice and warm. It's great. You know, the coldest weather, you put your hands in there. You can even stick like a hand warmer in there. There's a little inner pocket inside there where you can drop a hand warmer in there, and your hands stay nice and toasty. Up here, there's another zip pocket on the top. You could drop maybe your cell phone or your range finder, whatever. And then you have a pocket up here that is for, it's got like a little spot here where it's mesh. You could drop your grunt call in here, and you don't even have to take it out of the pocket. You can grunt, and I guess the idea is that the sound will go right through your jacket. And up on the top here, it's got like a magnetic button, so that you don't have to clip anything. Maybe I think that's part of the design to keep it quiet. Very, very quiet, this jacket. You don't hear anything. It's designed for a right-handed or left-handed shooter. So I'm a right-handed shooter, so my left arm has the fleece all around. Here they use a different type of material, so it keeps it nice and tight, and it won't get in the way of your bowstring when you take a shot. You know, like I said, you know, when you wear the Fanatic stuff, you're not going to get cold, and with wind, you don't feel the wind. It's great stuff. So I bought the jacket, I bought the Fanatic hoodie. I love both. In the coldest weather I use the jacket and the hoodie. I also bought the bibs, the Fanatic bibs. I have to say, the Fanatic bibs, you wear the Fanatic bibs and the jacket, you're not going to get cold. But in hindsight, I personally feel like I probably didn't need the bibs. My legs don't get cold. It's very rare that my legs get cold. So I bought the Fanatic jacket and bibs, but I also this year bought the Stratus jacket and bibs. And the Stratus jacket and bibs are also windproof, but they're lighter. So for me, I tend to wear the Stratus stuff with a couple of layers, and I'll use that in the earlier part of the season, go down to maybe 35 degrees. And you know, I find that it's good in that range of temperatures. Once it starts getting really colder, heavier winds, I'll go to the Fanatic stuff. But what I ended up doing a lot was using the Fanatic jacket with the Stratus bibs, because me personally, my legs don't get cold. I'll wear my base layer expedition weight thermal underwear, and then put my Stratus bibs on, the Fanatic jacket, and I'm pretty much good in the coldest temperatures. But if I really was going to be, you know, depending on where you are in the country, here in New York, you know, we do get some really cold temperatures, you know, late November, December, but you know, depending on where you're hunting, you get into some really cold temps. The Fanatic bibs are great to have too. And the cool thing about the bibs is they are designed where they're on the bottoms of the pants. The fleece is more up on the top. On the bottoms, it's strategically located in the places where you would typically pick up burrs. They use a different material so you won't pick up burrs. And it's good stuff. I mean, I'm glad I bought the Fanatic bibs too. I just tend to not use them as much. They are a little bit heavier. They're physically heavier because it's, you know, for colder weather. And with my style of hunting, you know, we go way back and everything. So if I'm using this stuff, I'll tend to pack all my stuff on my backpack, and I'll wear just my underwear. You know, I'll hike back in just my base layers, and I'll put everything on once I get close to the stand so I don't sweat up on the way there. But with the Stratus stuff, it's lighter. And I found that for me personally, the combination of the Stratus bibs with the Fanatic jacket worked really well in just about the coldest temperatures. So that's something to think about. If you're, you know, if you're like that, your legs don't get as cold, you might want to buy the Stratus bibs over the Fanatics. But it sure is nice to have both, because I will be using the Fanatic in the coldest weather. I do some coyote hunting and stuff, and that's probably where I'll end up using the Fanatic bibs more often. Like I said, I picked up the Stratus jacket as well. It's a much lighter jacket. Really love this jacket. I would say I actually probably used my Stratus gear more so than I used the Fanatic stuff, just because, you know, the temperatures weren't always that cold. So if you've got temperatures 35 and above, I'll wear my Fanatic hoodie, my expedition weight thermals, and my Fanatic jacket. I also have another vest that I can put over this as well. And you know, you can get down to pretty cold temperatures with just this, and it's very light. It's the same elevated ambush pattern. It's really light, it's warm, it's windproof, works great. I'm really very happy with it. I also have, you know, I got these are the bibs. The bibs are same thing. They're windproof, they're kind of light. You know, these coupled with expedition weight thermals, you know, for me, it's just about all I need. You know, they're very light. I use these all the time. I really love them. I also picked up the Stratus Beanie, and I also have the Fanatic hat and the gaiter, neck gaiter. I really like the neck gaiter. Keeps you very, very warm. The Fanatic hat, for me, I almost feel like it's overkill. So far in the coldest temperatures, like, we had a couple really cold days, and I was wearing the Fanatic hat, but I almost felt like, geez, it's so warm. The Stratus Beanie worked out really well. I never got cold with it on, yet it was a lighter profile, so I tended to wear this more often. A combination of utilizing the Stratus stuff with the Fanatic, for me, worked out really well. But it's nice to have both. But I know that the Sitka Gear can be kind of pricey, so not everybody can do that. But it is good stuff. You really can't go wrong with it. If you're looking for really good cold weather gear, stuff that's going to keep you warm in the coldest temperatures and wind, you just can't go wrong with the Fanatic. For earlier part of the season, and maybe depending on where you are in the country, if you're a little bit further south, you don't get those real cold temperatures all the time. Maybe the Stratus will be beneficial to you, because you can use it in conjunction with some layering, and it being windproof and everything, it worked really great, and I'm really happy with both. They're definitely a good investment. It's a lot of money. I understand that, but this stuff is the sweetness of a low cheap price is going long after the bitterness of poor quality remains. So there's some quote, Benjamin Franklin said something like that, and I always love that quote, and it's just so true. This stuff it's really good quality gear, and it's gonna do what you paid for. You wanted to be able to have gear that's going to keep you out there in extreme weather conditions, whether it be really cold or windy, that sort of thing. And if you've got good gear, you can stay comfortable, you can sit out there longer, and it's good stuff. I noticed too, it like wicks the moisture away. Sometimes I'd hike in and kind of build up a little bit of a sweat, but I never got cold. It's one of those things where even with like the Stratus, not the Stratus, the Fanatic Hoodie, there was days where I was like, geez, I'm sweating a little bit, getting to my tree, and it just went away, whipped away the moisture, and I never felt cold. Worked really well. So one last thing, there was a couple of questions with the Fanatic. The Fanatic Jacket has that kangaroo pouch, and if you're saddle hunting, the bridge for your saddle is kind of in the way of where you put your hands for your kangaroo pouch. And a couple of people actually asked me this question: does it get in the way? Yes, it does. In as much as it's in the way. Whereas if you were in a tree stand, there's nothing in the way, and it's no problem. It does get in the way, but it's still workable. I'm able to position the kangaroo pouch either below the bridge or above the bridge and still be able to utilize it and stay warm. So for me, I wear the back band in my saddle, and my hands would go in between where the back band lines tie to your bridge and the bridge itself goes in and into the kangaroo pouch, and I'm in there toasty warm. So you're able to use the Fanatic Jacket in the saddle comfortably. So that's been my experience. I don't know, maybe a little bit different depending on where you like to tie off on the tree. But for me, it worked out just fine. So hopefully that's helpful. Again, I'm going to do a couple of other reviews of some other things that we purchased this year and we talked about. So look out for that stuff. So hopefully this is helpful. Anybody that is looking to possibly invest in the Sitka Gear. I'm not being paid anything by them. I'm kind of giving them a commercial just because I'm happy with it, and I'm just going to be honest with it. I don't bash any companies, but if I don't have anything nice to say, I wouldn't say anything at all. And I'm very happy with the Sitka Gear. I'm going to buy more stuff. I wish it was a little bit cheaper. I wish the price came down a little bit, but I don't regret spending the money. So hopefully that's helpful to you guys. Best of luck out there, and climb safe.